I'm at that point where I'm just like, just a little bit of that.
Until my to say I must stop.
And a little extra for love there, just like twinkle some more for love.
Welcome to the GenC podcast. I looked into the right camera today. It's me, Rizan, your host. With me as always is JP Jackson, clean bliss. On a Sunday.
My head is getting very cold.
Coming to you on a Wednesday. With my main audio listener, Lars. How are you doing, brother?
Decent, bro.
JP, who do we have in the middle
In the middle today, we are very pleased to have Jill van As.
Oh, wow. They got my surname right.
Welcome, Jill. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to my...
I was about to say...
I
was about to say we missed an opportunity because we are low-key on the couch.
By the table.
By the table.
Yeah, there is a couch though. There's a couch. Thank you for having me, guys. Really, it's really nice being here. Wow, I feel so like the queen bee.
But before we get into the cooking, because we speak a lot about the cooking, you are an avid motorcyclist.
Did Kaiten tell you that? Yes, I am. I do like riding motorbike, but now as you get older, the knees don't work so like in that. It's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky, but yes, I love riding a motorcycle. It's a freedom. It's cheaper than therapy, firstly, and it's a freedom that you cannot explain. And that feeling when you get off your bike and you take your helmet off, and the guy's looking like, "Huh? Was that her?" Yes, it was me. That is the best feeling ever.
How do we as colored people just get the approval to ride bikes?
It wasn't our thing, eh? It was never our thing. So we belonged to a club. Well, not a club. It's like it's a club. And we were my husband and I were the only colored people. Like you would say, he was the only colored person because they were very confused when it came to me. And literally when I sit back and I look at it, yes, we were. And there's like 600 people in this riding club. But it was different, eh? So when he would do his breakfast runs or put something together, and then all the other riders that he's friends with, all the patch rider people, because there was a huge difference between having a patch and, And then one day this person from the club said to me, this patch riders, they're like dangerous people, man. I'm like, what you say? They always got like an axe in the head or no front teeth. I said, listen here, you're stereotyping first. Let's not go there. And I said, these patch riders, if we're going to talk about wealth and money, probably has more than this whole entire club put together, and they are my family. There's a difference. I said, being part of they don't take ladies in that club, but Gary was riding for the Swallows for many years and he's back now. I got them when I was on a ride. And Gary was doing gravel and I was on the tar, and they're like, who's these people you're riding with? Are you safe for them? We will escort you to where you need to be. How does Gary leave you alone here? That is the brotherhood, the family, it's just another level of togetherness.
Yes. Because that's often what those that are in biker clubs speak about.
Yeah.
The togetherness of the club, and that's the real sense of community within that space.
Yeah, and everybody has this bad idea about bikers. We're actually very nice people, I always say to my nieces and nephews, if you get lost or you struggling, you see a biker, go to him or her, because they will make sure that you're safe.
Yeah.
They've got big hearts. They care. I just want to take a moment to say a friend of an acquaintance, somebody who was around with us. She lost the battle to cancer and passed away on Friday. And it's just a matter of everybody just coming together and we're there for you. Yeah. The message, the outpours, and always when I used to see her, you would never say she was battling cancer. She always had a smile. We would talk about everything else besides that, and just for her husband and the boys, we're thinking of them.
Yeah. It's nice.
So that is the togetherness we get. And when you have a memorial run, it is a very good friend of ours also passed a couple of years back, and Gary, he was the founder member of this club, Sons of Thunder, and I used to ride for them, and also grew up with him in Stand.
Okay.
And then just before he passed, he said to Gary, just take my bike, man. My husband's nickname in biking is Jangles. They say, Jangles, just take this bike. And he's like, for what? Los dit die goed, man. I just want to use it for this. He says, I'm never going to ride it again. Fat dit die bike. And then with his memorial run, we actually rode his bike. And we first went to his house because Gary wanted to leave from his house. And I just stayed with his girlfriend. I said, this was the hardest ride I needed to do. To actually sit on this bike and knowing that he's no longer here. It's a different, and you know how we all come together. I mean, we was Muslim, so the janazah happened in a split second. There's food, there's this, there's that. Everything just happens because there's love.
Yeah.
You know? There's love.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
You sound speechless. Yeah, am I making this speechless?
What did we do?
What did we do? What did you do?
So let's-
Buy a bike, man. How about that?
So
Buy a
let's
bike.
start at the start. So you went to Ep126.
Yay.
That's in Kraaifontein.
In Kraaifontein.
And
What are you thinking in this exact moment?
yes.
So
Answer his question first. Wait, did he even ask a question?
that's what
I went to Even Dungeons. So we were the first colored kids to go to the school.
Oh, wow.
It was that time, 1993, 1994. Well, I'm giving my age away. That went to the school.
Okay.
So we were the first colored kids. And on top of it, we were the first colored English kids to go to the school. So it's an Afrikaans medium school. So I had great teachers. I'm still in contact with some of my teachers. In fact, my mathematics teacher is tutoring my niece, you know.
Wow.
I mean, I phoned him. I said, Mr. Schutz, she's really doing bad at, the maths is just not mathing. The math is not mathing here. And he's like, okay, Joel, we sorted out. And, I said, going to the base. And then she did. She got a B now with the math. But anyway, I had good teachers. Some of them were very great teachers. However, it was always, so a friend of mine, and we went to the same school. We've been friends since sub B. So I don't know what that is.
Grade two.
Okay, since sub B. And we played hockey. So we played Boland hockey on primary school because I was at Northbound Primary. So, and we couldn't start to Western Province. And they wouldn't let us go to trials, man. We couldn't even play in the first team. And we know we can play better than all these people. And then eventually we got to the first team with much stress from our parents. And I went to a hockey get together. Somehow chess didn't go with. And this other friend of mine, she was dark, but she was white.
Okay.
Okay. And they thought she was colored. And then when she came out that I was colored, and they literally put a gun to my head. Because I didn't know I was in an AWB. Is it AWB? Whatever. The house. I saw the old South African flag and all of that things, but I didn't know. And then one of the other matric boys, he came, also white guy. He also passed, I believe. Gerrit stood in front of us and said, hardloop, Jill. And lucky for me, I had a friend in my class that lived on the corner. And I phoned my dad to fetch me. It was intense. It was really intense. But still a good school. The teachers were fantastic. And then eventually we all became friends. I mean, I see some of them now still, and we just, it's togetherness now. So it's the mindset that needs to change.
Because I think that's exactly why I asked that question. Because that is a turning time in South Africa's history.
It was.
So you are entering spaces that no one before you has.
Yeah, we made it easy for the rest of the people.
Thank you.
But it's again, it's that lived experience that we don't really have record of. We don't speak enough about that hockey social. That was meant to be just a normal get together.
Just a social,
Ended up being a fear for my life situation. And how do you overcome that? When you have people that are your friends.
Or you think they're your friends.
Think they're your friends.
Yeah.
And now you're in the same spaces as them. And I think it's very important that, well done for making it up. but I think holding that and still being able to then also integrate into the new South Africa is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you can bring that with you and say, oh no, That's happened to me. I'm done.
Yeah.
But now you are also embracing the new change.
And we have to embrace the new change. Ultimately, that's what we fought for. Oh, not me. I wasn't there fighting. Just for the record, I was throwing no stones. But yeah, that's what...
the statute of limitations.
Lie and say you did.
Yeah, no,
Who's
I
gonna
did
know?
I did it. I was still too young. I was living in a fantasy world still at that time, not knowing. And yet, because I always had mixed friends. So for me, it was never a thing. And growing up in North Pan, maybe not in primary school, but high school, I've always had mixed friends. When I went to go study, I had mixed friends. It was never a thing for me. I don't know. I always still said to my parents, we should have, because my dad is from the South. And I said, we should have lived in the South. Would have been that cool chick living in the South. Coming from Woodstock. That kind of vibe. I feel that vibe.
Yeah.
But yet now, I always say to myself, I would really want to go live in Stellenbosch. And he's like, no, I don't want to go live. I'm too black to go live in Stellenbosch. I'm like, maybe they're not going to be so nice to you, but they're going to be nice to me. So don't worry, just hang with me. You'll be safe. You'll be safe. But I love Stellenbosch. I love Stellenbosch. I love the feel of Stellenbosch. I love the, the quietness of it. But then again, I also love the hustle and bustle of the city. I'm a city girl. So when we get to the book, I'll tell you about that story. We're going to speak about that because I'm going way ahead here.
I want to know what was the journey after high school? Like, what was the dream? What was I wanted to study this. I wanted to be this.
Believe it or not, I actually wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
I wanted to be a criminal lawyer from the age of 6. And then we had a visit from somebody from our church. And then they said, they asked me what I want to be. And I said, I want to put all the bad people in jail. And then they said, that lawyers go to hell. And I'm like, whoa, let's just stop there quickly. I got birth there,
What in the proper game?
And I was like, okay. And then my very first boyfriend I had, we had a bit of a gap, obviously. And when I was matric, just after my final exam, he died in a car accident. And the dream was always, his parents would always say to us, Jill, Jason, take care of each other. You can have the best wedding. And it was designed. We were going to get married. This was the person I'm going to be with. But then in 1995 was the World Cup. I traveled for the first time abroad. And I was like, hell no, you're going to get married, There is life beyond South Africa, And yeah, unfortunately, he passed away. And then and naturally, I just gravitated towards cooking because my entire family can cook.
Okay.
But I just didn't want to be a chef. I wanted to be more than that. I wanted to run the hotel. I'm that girl. So I studied hotel and operation management first. Okay. And ultimately, I was sitting in this massive office, telling everybody what to do. I like that, But yeah, so that's where I landed up, and that's ultimately, which I didn't do, was run the hotel. And then I started working at different hotels. And when I had to work my very first Christmas, I'm like, hell no, this is not for me. This is not my life. Okay. My granny's birthday was on Christmas Day, and I was exceptionally fond of my granny. And up to today, I still miss her. With everything that I've achieved up to this point, I still wish she was here to see all of this. But I got home and everybody's done. Everybody's sleeping. Christmas is done. I can no, this is not
Trifle's klar.
Yeah, I don't eat trifle, by the way. There's actually just a lot of stuff going on there. It's just, I can't. But then I said no.
I was going to say, she is.
No, she isn't. It's just so much stuff.
Too much of a good thing is trifle.
No, too much of a bad thing is trifle. But yeah, so I said, no, this is not going to work. And my mom, they had a catering business. So I worked with them a bit. And then I met my husband. And yeah, that's how life just evolved. And eventually started my own business, an events and catering business, which I still have today. Which is hard work. It's hard work.
I'm discovering that, like, when you prepare for this, you think you're interviewing one person. It's like there's 17 different arcs happening here.
There's a lot happening, yeah.
And so I'm sorry, JP, and I feel like you had a question there, but my question is, so you're saying my whole family can cook. Flex, firstly. But like, what does that mean? Like, what is What is that like? Is that like something where everyone literally comes together and cook? Is it a competitive relationship?
Sometimes
what does my
quite
whole family can cook mean?
Yeah. So my sister cooks very well. My mom cooks. My dad cooks. My uncles cook. So I came from a retirement. So they're having tea and my mom baked bread this morning and stuff. So now the whole spread is out and I'm obviously not there and I'm missing it. So just better keep me some, whatever it is just made. But everybody can cook. So when our family gets together, food is our main source. So I could cook at the age of 9.
Okay.
So I could make a pot of food at the age of 9. I could not fry an egg, could make food. I could make a curry, I could make a stew, I could do all of that. Mainly because our parents both worked and my dad was with church far in Franshoek. So eventually my mom started traveling with him. So I would have to take care of my sister and do all of those things. So I had to grow up pretty quickly. But that I think is the curse of being the eldest, you know.
Assistant parent.
Yeah.
Deputy
parent.
Absolutely. And we go through a lot, man. We pave the way for everybody else, ultimately. And then when we get together, our family's like, who's making what? Who's bringing what? Who's doing what? It's all about food. Sitting around my granny's table, there was food for days. She would cook soup on a Friday in winter and fried fish. And no matter who comes in from the street, there is enough food for everybody. And we'd sit and talk and laugh and have coffee. And, you know, just just be together.
Yeah.
And it's all centered around food, ultimately.
But you also speak about the healing that comes with food.
The healing will come with. So I need to go, how do I bring all of that in perspective? So ultimately, when I was studying, I was 18. That year I was, can I say, or must I say so?
It's okay. We'll figure it away.
You can say you were assaulted, but you can just say whatever you want to say because it's your story.
Yeah, it's my story. And why I say, like, even on an interview I was at, and they said, no, you must use sexually assaulted, which I feel takes away from what it actually is because people don't want to hear that. Yeah. You don't want to hear, I went through that trauma, so I can say it because it happened to me. And if I say compared to sexually assaulted, it's so soft. You know, you're softening the whole experience. It's not a soft experience, you know? So that is why I feel that I need to say it. It took me a long time to say it. So, and that happened and I still went back to study and my family then, all my parents, my dad, my mom, they showed me that all men are not bad. My uncles, the church was supportive, you know? And from that, I just kind of navigated to the kitchen because it was something that I'm studying also. And I find answers there, believe it or not. So the first thing I cooked when I went back, which is also in the book, is a yellow, well, it wasn't a yellow top, it was fish. Okay. And I, you know, the process, you must score the fish when you all those things. And I didn't do that. And I was sitting and looking at that fish and I'm just spicing it and I'm doing what I need to, cutting it, cleaning it, and, you know, just that frustration coming out of it. And afterwards, without scoring it, without doing it, there was a lot of things wrong with the fish. But ultimately, it tasted kind of good. And I got good marks for that, actually. And my friends were saying, oh, this is so yummy. What did you do? And then the penny kind of dropped. Even in my imperfect state, I could cook something pretty perfect that made you smile and you smile. And that was my journey of healing. You know? And also when you're chopping that onion in the kitchen and your tears is rolling, they don't know you're actually crying. It's the onions. The onions got this effect on me, but you can let your emotions and things go. And your frustration, when you eat that meat, you freaking hammer it and you take all that frustrations out and you chop that onion and you do what you need to do. And then the fish gave me all that answers, you know?
Yeah.
And you get that clarity somehow in the kitchen because that is something that I am good at. So that became my crutch through all of it all.
So the journey to get to that point, I think it's sensitive to even speak about it. The fact that you want to raise awareness about it. The steps to get to that point is obviously long and unwinding and unpacking and making sure that you deal with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Or why is it such a passionate subject for you?
Because ultimately, I actually didn't think, I thought I dealt with it all. You know, Life happens, you study, you go work, you get married, your life is happening and you think you've dealt with traumas in your life. Then more trauma came after that because then you struggle to have kids because, women are designed to be a baby making machine. And if you're not that baby making machine, there's something wrong with you. And you start thinking about what is wrong with me? Why can't I do it? God designed me to do this, but here I can't. And you get scrutinized by society because societal dictations are so high, especially on women. That's what you do. You get married. You're dating. How long are you dating? Oh, you're dating 5 years old. When are you getting married? So now you get married when is the kids coming? Listen, keep quiet if you've got nothing else to say, But, that societal dictations always, and now I'm like, I can't be a mommy. I can't carry a child. What the hell is wrong with me? And back to the kitchen. Miscarriage after miscarriage. And that was part of the trauma, which I really not love speaking about, but I love creating awareness about it because people say, you just had a miscarriage. No, my child existed. My child was real. It wasn't just a miscarriage. It was my loss. And don't diminish my loss, And then the kitchen became my crutch again. But now I thought I dealt with all that stuff. COVID comes. Okay, what now? A friend of mine lives in the States. He's a photographer. He says, Jill, let's do something together. And I'm like, how are we going to do this, Clint? You live there. I live here. He says, we'll figure it out. And eventually came down. So we shot, and I just to cut. He says, what are we going to shoot? Food. Okay, fine. This recipe, that recipe. And it was things that just easily came to my mind. And then when I looked at it all together, when I looked at the pictures, I was like, but this reminds me of that time of my life. And that reminds me of this time of my life. And that, like music takes you and transports you back to a time and a place, so does food. Yeah. Have you ever eaten something and you say, this reminds me of my granny, or it reminds me of home, And then it sparked. And then I thought, okay, let's write a story why I chose these recipes.
Wow.
And then I had to revisit these spaces in my life, which I thought I dealt with, which ultimately I didn't. So I went through all that trauma again. And then writing this book helped me heal. And that's why I say food is love. Food brings people together. If it wasn't for food, would I be sitting here now? If it wasn't for the book? No.
I don't know, but we would have found a way.
I should have actually brought some food and we should have been eating because
but the spread is now at home for the retirement.
Yeah, the retirement. And I didn't have to make any of that.
I'm so glad that you articulated in the way that you did, because I was curious as to, it's actually a question from Gabby. Gabby's our member that's moved to Johannesburg and we will forever miss her. But she does like some of the research and stuff like that. And she had a question like, what is culinary healing? Like, what is that? What does that mean? And I'm going to let you actually answer that, but I just want to make a take quickly that, because I've also dealt with trauma and healing and therapy and stuff like that. And I've noticed that for me, you do most of the healing through action.
Yeah.
And so what I'm gauging is that it is the act of making food that has been healing for you.
Yeah, because in that space, I know I'm pretty good at what I'm doing. Okay. So nobody can take it away from me, know? Like they say, knowledge is power. But also, ultimately, it is something that I can create and share with you that's going to put a smile on your face. And in that also helps with healing.
Yeah.
When you give and you take care of your neighbor and you share. So, and you laugh and you cry and you do all of that there in the kitchen. It's amazing because the kitchen is ultimately the heart of the home. Ultimately, where do you congregate? Where do you congregate? Where is it so liquor when you're sitting around the kitchen table having coffee or wine or whatever you're having and you laughing and you talking and you were sitting maybe in the lounge, but now eventually it's liquor there in the kitchen. So that is culinary healing in a nutshell.
You know what amazes me, Angel? We've been doing this quite a bit.
Yeah.
And with every person that speaks in this chair, Rizan just goes on this chair.
On this chair.
Goes on this warp. And he ends up in this space where he didn't, like he said, he didn't think the interview would be there. But he's so happy that it's there.
But you said it was something, sorry to break it with JP. No. You said something about it's the action of cooking.
The act, yeah.
Yeah, the act. It's literally an action that you're doing. It's something that you're physically doing. So I got a question for you. What makes your coffee sweet?
Firstly, I don't drink coffee.
Okay.
I'm
what
a
makes
tea
your
girl.
tea? What makes your tea sweet? I like it. But what makes your tea sweet?
Wow. Okay.
Just answer. What do you
There's obviously no wrong answer.
Yeah, there's no wrong
but
answer.
But it definitely is the way that you make it.
Or the sugar that you add, or the honey.
I've taken less in the sugar.
Yeah, but that's what makes your tea sweet, ultimately. Or your coffee sweet is the sugar. But if you just put the sugar in it and you don't stir it.
Okay.
It's all at the bottom.
It's at the bottom. So it's the action. It's like the same of you saying we go to church every day. But if you don't sit and listen and actually take that word and work it and stir it in your heart, what does it mean? Nothing. It's the action.
We have Teacher Joel with us today. Hashtag cooked.
Hashtag.
So let's get to the book.
Okay.
Right? So you said you had to write this, or part of the healing is writing the stories and the behind the recipes. But I think there's still this and it's something we're trying to overcome, this block of I can write a book or I can write something and someone will want to buy it. Or how did you kind of get to that state where I'm actually going to write this thing and I'm going to put it out?
Wow. It was, like I said, it was a thing that Clint and I wanted to do together, do something to put out in the universe. And ultimately it was for me saying that, when I die, I don't have kids that can live my legacy. So this is my legacy. That is initially what I thought it would be. Writing the book was pretty easy. I mean, Gary took me to Paternoster to write a book. This is in the silence at the beach. I booked a place in Greenpoint for 3 days in the city. And I wrote that book in 3 days because I loved that hustle and bustle. Wow. It just energized me. But it was easy to write because I'm speaking about my own life.
Okay.
And to do the recipes was a bit hard because I'm at that point where I'm just like, just a little bit of that.
Until my ancestors say I'm going to stop.
And a little extra for love there, just like twinkle some more for love. And so I literally needed to go make everything and measure because I need to now say it's 2 teaspoons of this or what,
That's deep.
Yeah, okay. So that was hard because I literally had to go, these are recipes that I've made all my life. It is biryani, it is a bunny chow, it is a grilled fish, a lot of seafood. But I needed to go do it. And what I realized is as I was healing, as I was growing as a person, the recipes evolved and became bolder in flavor and better in the way you heal. Because your food, my husband can always say to me, I can taste you didn't smoke like making this food. I said, yeah, you're right. I didn't smoke like making this food. So you can actually taste because food is love. You have to outpour love into whatever. And that's why I always say, just a little extra for love.
The mini colored Greek philosopher in me wants to know why the name Epicurean Journal.
Epicurean. So Epicurean, you know what Epicurean means? Can I give you?
I do, but you must tell me.
I will ask you, what does it mean? What do you think it means?
So is it not the practice of the philosopher Epicurus who basically believed the purpose of life is to almost like strive for joy and strive to be happy and do things in the pursuit of being happy?
Yes, very right, very right. But it's also somebody that enjoys fine food and good wine.
Oh, okay.
Good wine, good food. That's all.
That's what I'm saying. That's what you
so
must
it's
tell
all.
us.
Yeah, but that is also part of it. The pursuit of happiness ultimately. Because I find happiness in the kitchen. If I have a fight with my husband, I go to the kitchen, I make a lot of food, and he's like, "Who are you cooking for?" I said, "Just keep quiet." And then I cook.
Yeah.
Some people bake, which I don't like, but you cook, and cooking is a lot like life.
Okay.
Gets thrown a lot of things, so now the spot is too salty. Oh, I added too much. But there's always a way. Do a twist to just take that salt out. Or, well, not really, but add more potatoes or add something to create it. It's too spicy for somebody. Let's add some cream here, and you can just add. And for me, it's just the understanding those flavors and the spices, and I can taste it before I even make it.
Wait a minute. Can we just?
And spice is the variety of life.
So no, because so we haven't mentioned it, but we've kind of touched on the comfort food versus comfort cooking, right? And baking and cooking, for me, I find is 2 different practices.
Huge different practices. Hugely.
But baking is like science. Recipe following, making the experiment.
One mistake, it's over for you.
Whereas cooking sounds like artistry.
It is.
It sounds like alchemy. It sounds like you are proper rabbit at the hat magician, like, and so
creativity. Oh, it's amazing.
So you are essentially also
an artist of life.
Damn it! I was gonna find a word. The grandmaster.
Grandmaster. Oh. Yeah, I'm working a lot with a grandmaster currently, but I'm not the grandmaster in that. But yes, it is. Even with my catering company, when people ask me, "Can I see pictures of your platters?" I said it looks different every single time.
Oh.
I allow the chefs to, because ultimately that's why you are a creative being. So why should it look the same? Why must this be there? And create your design. It is all about what you're feeling at that moment. And also when I cook, it doesn't taste the same every single time. And people say, but the last time you made it taste like it, I said, oh, okay, I must figure that one out quickly. Maybe I was in a better mood, but it sometimes doesn't taste the same. And when they ask me, please send me recipe, I'm getting married, send me menus and stuff. I said, I have many menus. But you, me, and you are different. Your taste buds are different. The way you look at life. So why should your food be exactly the same? Especially when you get married. I need to showcase you. Say we're getting married. I need to showcase our personalities through what we're making. And if you want to eat burgers and chips at your wedding, it is your wedding. It's okay. So why must the design, why must the basics be the same if we're all unique in our own way? So that's
but we
what
do
I
find, I think now, especially at this time, where things are a lot faster, and we feel sometimes like time is going away from us, and we then tend towards things that are quicker, or making food that's a lot more easy. Put in the air fryer and you go.
All these air fryers.
So, and I think and that's also why we have this sort of connection to that style of cooking, because it takes time, right?
Yeah.
It takes time to put it in. It takes time to create that recipe. But we actually forget that it's inviting the people into the kitchen that is the activity.
That's the fun part.
And that's the fun part.
No shame. I'm thinking about my mom. My mom will on the record say she doesn't like cooking. And I know like my favorite dishes, and she also knows this, are the ones that take time.
Yeah.
And she makes it often, and she makes it better and better and better. So maybe she doesn't love cooking, but she definitely loves us.
Absolutely, because food is love. And it does, even, and I'm not saying this, for my clients out there, I love you all. But it's different when I cook at work. And a lot of people say, why don't you cook at work and bring it home? It's not that I don't want to eat the food that I make at work. We probably had it for lunch, or we pass it. And also if you're in the kitchen, you need to taste. Yeah. I need to taste that it's palatable. But when I cook at home in my kitchen, it's a different cook.
Okay.
Because I'm cooking for my husband, and it's difficult to cook for two people. But, and he has a certain flavor, so he doesn't really like stews. But when I'm now really listening for that green beans, you must not just deal with it or go eat somewhere else. But, but it is a different kind of feeling that you're doing. It's not your job. It's that you're cooking for love. And not that I don't cook for love, my clients, please. I do cook for love for you. But it is, it's just something different. It's a different feel because, like you said, she loves you. She might not love cooking, but she loves you. And no matter how sick I am, even if I'm in bed with the flu, I'll get up and I'll go make dinner because ultimately it's societal dictations, because women must do that, we have to do it. So that's why, being raised in a colored household is, the boss said So my husband always, very separate. So my husband always say, you are the last colored girl I'm ever gonna have. So I said, enjoy that because Marika, I gaan nie vir jou lekker kry. She's not gonna do that. She's not gonna do it. Ultimately, you're gonna eat that salad, that tuna salad, because Marika is gonna go for a jog and she's gonna go to the gym and she's gonna do all that stuff before she's gonna make you a pot of food. That's true.
To the one Marika subscribe.
Sorry,
Shout out to you. You are my Rika.
But I look at my friends. Like I said, I've got a lot of friends. I said, ons kom eet by jou, Jill. Because it's always quick and fast, and they're gonna braai. Wednesday night is braai night for them. So we're gonna braai. We're gonna do this, and I'm not saying all All of them are like that. But you know, it's a quick, I would rather go to like he would say when he went on his whole fitness loss journey, we'd come home at the same time and he would go take a jog or go gym or whatever. And I put my bag down and I start cooking. And he says, now, when are you going to, I said, when are you going to eat? I use another word, but when are you going to eat? If I must go run, if I must go jog. And then you're going to come back and you say, oh, I'm so hungry. And the thing that he says that ticks me off, the kat is op die stoof. Nou wil ek vir jou kat. Because then it drives me insane. Like, what's wrong with your hands, man? You know? Why can't you do it yourself? So that's the narrative we need to change.
JB. Jackson.
Yes.
We have to talk about so many things, my brother.
Go ahead.
But, okay, so you've written your first book, Epicurean Journal, and I understand there's another one in the works coming out 2026.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Are you at liberty to speak on what it's about? And okay.
So the first one is called the Epicurean Journal, but the subtitle is Family's Love because because it's a little short story. So it's a little introduction to what this meal is all about. Sorry guys, I forgot the book at home. But I was at church first. Let's just add that I was there by Jesus first.
we can shut GPT this in the episode somewhere. Make her like this is here. Sorry, Lau.
Show me giving Lau a lot of work today.
Always. Every single episode without fail.
And then, what was I saying? Family's Love. So I speak about what I said earlier, sitting around my granny's table, sharing pearls of wisdom, where the food was the main focus. She made this thing. She made a spaghetti bolognese, but back in the day, they would make Monday this, Tuesday this, Wednesday that, you know. Yeah. So she would make spaghetti bolognese, but everything was thrown in the pot, the mince and the spaghetti. Everything is like, one pot food, and then they serve it with rice, So, we elevated the dishes. We changed it a little.
I grew up with that.
Yeah. You change it a little bit. You added some basil and some fresh tomatoes and all of that to just kind of, but it still reminds me of her, and that spaghetti is pop gekocht, but okay. It's not al dente. So, and there's no Parmesan cheese with a little bit of parsley, some fresh basil.
Risotto.
Not even. It's insane how they're cooking. But their cooking influenced a lot in my life. Spending their time in the kitchen. So I speak about in the book where I made prawns with my mom in the kitchen, and that was our time. And I made a little joke, like, you steal a prawn or two here, but when it comes to the dishes, we still fight about who must do the dishes. And it's still like that in our house. And I said, even though there's a dishwasher, you still...
Someone needs to pack it.
Yes, and somebody needs to wash the pots. So that is the experiences I speak about. Yes, I speak about the sexual assault. I speak about the miscarriages, but it's all little introductions to it. The second book is also going to be called the Epicurean Journal, but this is just going to be the full story. So it's not going to be as many recipes, but going into depth. So of what I speak about or what I touch on in the first book. And after every chapter, there will be a recipe that is not in the first book. But it's also just giving the listeners the full depth of what I'm saying. And then that too can be brought together or separate or whatever. But that will be the full story.
I love that. Okay. Next. So you are in the media space.
Okay.
Whether you believe it or not.
Okay.
Who, me?
You think about me?
No. No, because so because now you stop me because I'm like, do I have the right person? Is Joe on the couch? Is it ultimate?
Yeah.
Is this something that you do?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Oh, we're just gonna stay in the kitchen.
Yeah.
No. I like it in the kitchen. It's safer. Okay.
God knows. So my question, I guess, would have been, because now you really threw me. How did you start that, and what is that show about? John on the Couch.
Oh, on the couch with Jill.
On the Couch with Jill, sorry.
Yeah. So that was, it first started off as something like culinary healing.
Okay.
So I was first recording little snippets for Instagram where I speak about all the stuffs. And then somebody said, "Oh, why don't you open a YouTube channel?" I said, "A YouTube channel? I don't know how that works. I still don't know how it works." And then we did that. Then we took those episodes and we put it on. And then I got guests in where, like I spoke to Sylvan Gazy, where we spoke about menstruation and menstruation essay, trying to create awareness. So that's the space that I created where I want to speak about the topics I want to speak about.
Yes.
Where we speak about miscarriages, where I have these episodes of my husband and I sitting on our bed and we're talking about the trauma that he also went through. Because we kind of forget that you men, also have feelings. But yeah, you just do have feelings, And then we spoke about that and how he experienced it. And those are the things that I use to create awareness on the topics close to my heart, And then I was doing a little bit of a stunt on a online radio station where I also called it On the Couch with Jill on a Monday evening. And, the lack of being on a online radio space that you got the freedom to speak about whatever you want. And it's more of a talking show than a music show.
Yeah.
But there I need to give shout out to my friends that helped me, Paul and DJ Easy. They came out on my first day when I sat there with that whole desk thing and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do here? And they were there to show me support. And that's just, again, another space where you find love. And I love the radio space. I would really want to have my own show one day. That's ultimately where I want to go because
You heard
it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. That's where I want. Yeah, that's where you get the most reach. And that's where you can engage with people, and that's where I can drive the topics that's close to my heart. Obviously, in a non. What's the word I'm looking for? In a space that's safe.
Yeah.
I can do so much more if I had a radio show. So for those listening, but ultimately that's where I want to go. So and the love for radio actually came, and I gotta give it to Heart FM. I was doing when the book was released, I did a Sugar interviewed me, a couple of interviews, and then Jeremy Harris actually gave me the opportunity on his show on a Saturday morning. I think I was doing that for a year and a half. It was first What's for Breakfast, and then it became Food is One. What is it now? Yeah, Food is One. So now I still go in some Saturdays to go chat about that. I think he's got a new feature now called Chef is One. So I still go in and do that. But for a year and a half, I was there every Saturday morning, and it was amazing. My mom was at a doctor, and the doctor said, "Oh no, he runs on a Saturday morning and he listens to Heart." I was shocked that he actually listens to Heart, but yeah. And there's a chef that come on, and my mom said, "Yeah, it's Jill, you meet it's her." It's like, it's her, yeah, it's me.
Luckily, what you did to us now.
Yeah. so that was the nice part of it, and I enjoyed that, and I love the fact that with radio you can go in your track pants and really relax, and nobody sees you, and you don't have to put on makeup and all that stuff, because I'm not a makeup artist. I did this especially for you guys.
So not for the resignation.
For the retirement at church. No, church you go. Jesus is coming, sure. But yeah, the people's going to see me, so I need to, make it look good. But yeah, so that's what I love about radio. And it's fun.
That's great.
Anything else?
There's a lot. I just thought JP.
No, yeah.
It's my time to shine.
Yeah.
Okay, firstly, I love the fact that you are who you are with the story that you tell, and you found the space in Heart FM. It's like marriage. It's like, ooh.
Are you listening, Heart? Marriage is meant to be.
Yeah. You also, because you mentioned online radio, is that this
Afrikaap radio, yeah.
Firstly, love the name. Can you just tell us a bit more about that? So Afrikaap Radio is an online space. I don't know how many listeners they got at this point in time. I left, before my op and all those kind of things, I just said I needed some time off, and I was off for a long period, and I said, please fill the space. You can't have this dead air. Yeah. It was a lovely space where I could speak about what I wanted to speak about. It was 2 hours on a Monday. Monday from 6 to 8. You're chilling on the couch with me, Jill. And it was great. I had amazing people that I interviewed. Bianca Lagrange, Salome, Sassy Bakes. It was doctors I had on. We spoke about health and wellness also. So I actually went for an interview. Okay. Alton invited me for an interview on his slot on a Thursday Walk to Wellness. And
Sebastian was there, who owns Africa, and he says, but I know you. And I'm like, no, you don't know me. He says, no, but I've heard you. And then Alta said, no, she was on Heart with Jeremy. I was still there, I think.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, you Chef Jill. And he says, would you like to come do the drive show? And I'm like, no, I still got a job. And then we created a space on a Monday night for me. And I loved it. And thank you to Africa for the opportunity. But yeah, there's other things that's happening now.
That's great. I think the reason why I was allowing you the space, because it seemed like there was a lot you wanted to get through.
Your mind is spinning. That wheel is turning.
But I think ultimately, what we're also trying to highlight is that you seem to be very multifaceted. There are many areas that you dabble in, and importantly, you're also going to areas that you enjoy, which I think is important for a lot of people to also be able to express themselves in those spaces. Because I think it's sometimes we think what we do for a job is what we need to do, and
what we have to do,
and then that ends up just being who we are when we actually have so many other interests that also align with who you are as a person. And it's about exploring that. And that's life. Yeah. Life is about exploring those different parts.
Spice of life. Variety is the spice of life. But also that is why we're busy doing a rebranding of me. Sounds so vain. But yeah, a rebranding from Chef Jill to Jill van Us. Because being a chef is just part of who Jill van Us is.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it doesn't define me. And like I always say to, when I do motivational speaking and stuff like that, I always say to them, you're not defined by what has happened to you. You're so much more than that. I'm going to do a thing called Look at Me Now. But look at me. I've gone through miscarriages. I've gone through the fertility. I've gone through the most, and I've lost, my cousins all died in a car accident. We've been through all of that. But look at me now. I'm here sitting on this podcast. Thank you. And I was on radio. I was on Quirkies with Jonathan Ruben, and that is actually where it inspired me to speak out, because the response that came from that women thought that, and I'm going to say it, and I know I'm not supposed to say it, that is a norm, that it must be. And then the moment I spoke out about it, they realized, but this is wrong.
Yeah.
And that is not my fault. Ultimately, it's not your fault. And it doesn't define who you are. And a dear friend of mine said to me, you don't take ownership of something that you didn't create, or, so you don't refer to it as mine, you refer to it as because you didn't create that. It's not something you can take ownership, because it's not something you wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted a nice red Ferrari, so that's my Ferrari. Hopefully this Jen you gave me my red Ferrari, but so I can take ownership of my red Ferrari, but I'm not going to take ownership of something that has happened to me. And it also doesn't define who I am as a person, because and taking your power back. Ultimately taking your power back, because you've taken that man at the age of 18, took something from me, but you're not going to take the rest of my life. The rest of my life belongs to me. So I'm taking my power back. And then, that thing of forgiveness. Yeah, it's hard.
Oh, she.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to do, It is so. And I actually thought I did. And then when writing this book, I realized, but I didn't. Okay. So I didn't have my full power, because you still had that power over me. Yeah. And you never get over it. What you thinking? That village is spinning there.
These villages is spinning a lot there.
So... Yeah, we are going to definitely play that. It's just, I think for me, having spoken to you now, I definitely want to speak to you again, firstly.
Okay. We can do it again.
Invite us on.
I was thinking that. But I didn't know I could say it yet.
Didn't have to ask.
But I didn't have all this stuff.
Does she like
come here, and then we just take your thing.
We're not that kind of people. We're not that kind of people.
It's just like a chilled vibe, guys.
Yeah, we were like...
I need to get this mic soon. I must get this mic here and whatnot.
Sure. That is the first thing. So there is a certain power that you are emitting, that you are, like, you have reclaimed your story. You are the hero of your book, and it is coming across very, very beautifully, very, very brightly.
Oh, thank you. I actually never ever looked at it in that light.
And one of the things that I wanted to sort of like, just my last question on the cooking front is, I do understand that you also give like, is it cooking masterclasses and stuff like that you do, I think at Maker's Landing?
Yeah, we're going to start that now in October, the very first one.
Okay.
And, you know, it is so exciting because it is something, it's a space where I'm most comfortable in, and it's going to probably be easy to inspire, but it's also a space where people need to feel safe.
Okay.
And we're going to cook, we're going to laugh, we're going to cry. And it's not only for women.
Yes.
You know, you and your wife can come. You and...
my girlfriend.
Okay. Your girlfriend can come, you know, and also...
I mean, I'll come alone. But like, she's gonna be upset if I go into
you know, it's a space where also I want to create the memory that, yes, you're gonna maybe read my book and you're gonna read what I experienced at that moment, but creating your own memories. The kitchen is where you're gonna share the love. The kitchen is where you're cooking together. The one might be washing dishes, the other one might be chopping the onion, the other one might be pouring the wine. But you are there and we are laughing and we're taking that time out of life, from the kids, from the work, from whatever. And we're just spending that time. Yes, we're still being creative and it's something we have to do because we have to eat at night. But it's something we're doing together. And that is, if you have kids, mommy and daddy's time, or that is a time where you get to know each other. And also to change the narrative that the kitchen doesn't just belong to the woman, you know? It belongs to everybody, you know, and this is the space that I want to create it. So, and here there's going to be no judgment, you know, we listen and we don't judge. You know, I learned that from the Gen Z. What is it, you millennials? We listen and we don't judge, that kind of environment. And you must be free to explore whatever you're feeling at that moment.
Yeah.
And if you want to change my recipe, go ahead, but just don't mess it up.
So what is this event going to be called?
So, I don't know. My people are saying we must call it Kitchen Table Talk. I'm saying let's call it Cooking Through Pain.
We'll
I don't know.
But
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it
Still
out.
time. But
There's still time.
when it does get launched, I think we definitely need
Yeah,
to.
so we want to do it in October. So just maybe do October, November once a month. There's only space for 30 people. So you're going to work in groups. So either you're going to come in your own group or you're going to just be divided up with somebody.
Okay.
And I think that is also pretty cool because that's how we get to know people.
That's awesome.
And with the pressure of cooking, you really get to know somebody. And the kitchen can be a dangerous place, you know.
Definitely.
We work with sharp objects there.
Yes. Some of us don't make it out alive.
Yeah. Maybe not.
So, Jill, there is a...
Why are you looking so confused?
I got drive-by'd.
Yeah. There is a game we play on the show.
Oh.
It's basically a series of hypothetical questions.
Okay.
It's a game we like to call Say My Now. Have you
Say
ever-
my now.
Have you ever heard a kind of person go,
Say my now.
No, that's
Oh,
not
yeah,
true.
say my now. Yeah, I got it.
So this one says, say my now, you had to only use one heat source for cooking. What would it be? Like a stove, a gas stove, a fire, a microwave? What heat source would you
Probably
use?
Gas. Because I can do a lot of things. I can fry, I can flambe, I can do a lot of things on gas. Yeah, so it would probably be gas. Not to gaslight anybody, but
I'm a sucker for a braai.
yeah, I
I'm
love a
sucker
braai.
for
I love a braai.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do a lot of things on the fire, but just for convenience and easy, if it's something
I do see
it
that.
would be gas.
Yeah.
Damn.
And you?
You see, so obviously now I'm showing that I don't really cook.
Okay.
That's it's evident. I think okay.
Go for the air fryer.
Yeah.
So no. Pushback. I would take the oven
Okay.
because I can bake.
Oh.
I can actually bake.
Oh, for real?
I can
Flex.
actually bake,
Flex on
but
that.
I'm also thinking about like you can still get away with grill. You can do like those like you can
I know gila pots that you
yeah,
know, throw
yeah,
that one pot
I can get
thing in.
away with, and
But
you can
I
put
just
the
want
you can
to
put
say-
the poachy, so you know the different chicken
okay,
legs,
good. So what do you bake?
like cakes,
What is your
muffins.
favorite thing to bake?
Ooh,
I'm must actually keep this for my own podcast. But anyway.
Like and subscribe for more.
But also, what I was going to say, I like, we don't need to be bashing the air fryer. The air fryer has its place in the kitchen.
Yeah, that quick.
I do.
But yet you can do
like,
a lot in the air fryer.
You can do a lot in the air fryer. I also enjoy a good scent.
I don't own an air fryer. That's what that was.
I know.
It
must be asked this question.
I'm just saying, like, the blasphemy for air fryers.
No, I wasn't coming for air fryers. I just couldn't afford one.
This is interesting.
Let's see it.
Simon, now, you could delete one emotion from your brain forever. Which would you delete?
Fear.
Fear. Why?
Yeah. Because I think with the fear comes the thought that I can't do, that I'm not able to
do.
Sorry. So, and I think if that was switched off, I mean, my heightened fear of getting like mugged and stuff would probably also go away, which is a bad thing. But I mean, for me, the fear emotion of stopping me from taking that next step would be the one that I switch off.
Did you hear the song I was starting to sing?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
But JP, that's also scary.
That's a good one.
Get
Yeah.
rid of fear.
No, I know.
It's a huge thing.
The thing is pros and cons, though.
Yeah.
It's pros and cons. But I have to choose one.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
My anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety. Yeah.
Like,
Singing with yourself.
yo, because
Oh, I love Pink. Did you say they sang the Pink song?
no,
the theme song.
it's
I thought you
Doechii.
said. I thought you said he sang a song of Pink. I love Pink. You're like,
That's my
As in-
anxiety.
ah.
So, and no, because like at the same time, I've very much grown quite fond of my sadness. It's a very strange relationship I have with my sadness. I for a long time I didn't have a relationship with joy and happiness. Like my therapist is like, what do you mean you don't know happy? Like it's I think I just didn't let happiness in. And I got quite comfortable with like depression, anxiety, loneliness, emptiness. But anxiety is like, that's
Big one.
different.
Yeah.
That's different. The anxiety is like a script writer. It's just like, okay, but now let's make this edit before his son realizes.
Yeah, let's delete it. Let's erase this. Yeah.
It's just because, I mean, he's going to think that this is what happened and we can make him believe something
Yeah.
else.
I like that.
The grand gaslighter.
The gas.
Yeah, so I would
yeah,
remove anxiety. Like, no
Anxiety.
offense.
I actually have, I don't know, because your emotions makes you who you are.
For sure.
You know, so if I'm going to take away fear or anxiety or love or maybe hatred could be a good thing. You know, maybe hatred, you know, and maybe hatred sounds like really bad, but you don't like somebody because the way they look or what they did or whatever. So I would like, if I could do that, I just want to be kind ultimately in life. I just want to exude kindness and love. So if I could take hate out of the entire world, we might have a better world ultimately.
Oh, facts.
Facts.
Oh,
Yes.
facts.
So, yeah.
Agree.
For sure.
Okay. Got that one. I love that.
So then also towards the end of the show, we'd like to do two things. So I'm going to ask you to do the first thing and then I'll ask you the second question.
You don't ask me to dance.
Or design to get the second one. So the first thing is obviously promote. Where can people find you?
Okay.
Anything that's coming up that people can be aware of, the workshops and stuff like that. So that's the first
Yeah,
question.
we're going to link in the bio.
Link in the
like
bio.
crazy.
That's the
Okay, thank you. Okay. So you can find me on all the social media platforms, just Jill Finesse. It's as simple as that. Even the YouTube channel is Jill Finesse, On the Couch with Jill, if you're looking for anything. My website, I don't know where it disappeared to. I actually looked for it yesterday. That's also www.jillfinesse.com.
Okay.
And so we're trying to do the whole rebranding to just Jill Finesse. And then the workshops, you can obviously look at my socials. And then we're also going to do an event called Look at Me Now.
Okay.
That I'm hoping to do in August, September. I'm still trying to find the perfect venue because everybody's saying like, let's do it in town. I'm saying like, let's go to Stellenbosch, a wine farm kind of thing. But that event is also, again, please people, everybody, when they look at me, they think it's all about women only. It's all inclusive. It's a holistic approach to all these feelings that I've been through because men can also go through this ultimately. It's not only focused on us women. We just and again, society just say that women is the emotional being. But it's for everybody. And it's a safe, non-judgmental space for all of us to just share feelings and love and laugh. And the look at me now, that's going to be so exciting. Because it's not only celebrating me and look at me now, but celebrating you. What did you come through? What did you overcome? What you're finding you in this space, in this time of your life. And it's for people that want to celebrate life. Ultimately. Nice. So yeah.
I love that. Aren't you glad that we brought Chill on?
Happiness.
The second thing that we like to do is we do like to make you dance. I'm joking.
That's a hard one.
And that is, Joel, provide a message to your younger self.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I don't know. What would I say to my younger self?
You can dance if you want to.
Go learn to jazz. Be a real talent and learn to jazz. Don't go to that Afrikaans school at Soki. Go learn to jazz. I don't know what I would say to my younger self. Actually, just life is going to throw you a lot of lemons and a lot of curveballs. So maybe learn to ride bike earlier so that you can lean into the curves when you're feeling a bit hard. And then also make that lemonade. And it's just to be brave when you go through anxiety. Life is going to be lifing you. And just become more brave at a younger age. Yeah. I think that's what I would say.
Yes.
Just become more brave.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Wow. Learn to ride bike early so you can take those curves.
Yeah, you can lean into those curves,
#8.
I don't think if you didn't say it enough, Jill, from us, thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing the story and creating this and sharing it on our platform and allowing us to capture this. Because I think, like we mentioned before, a lot of what we're doing here is capturing those discussions and allowing others to also see it too.
And I love it. You guys, whoever's listening to this or watching this, please go look at other episodes because I did. And there's a lot of, I laughed a lot. Not a bit, a lot. But it's fun and it's also informative and it gives a beautiful platform for us, colored people, to celebrate who we are because I don't feel that we celebrated enough. No. And thank you.
It's our superpower.
It's our superpower, man. They don't know. They don't understand us colored people. And before we end this thing, I hate it when people come speak to me in that, and yes, I embrace my heritage. I embrace who I am. I hear from down the road in Babel South. But don't come to me, how's it, my bro? No! Do I look like I speak like that? Just because I'm colored, do I speak like that? And I love this platform because it changes that narrative. It showcases colored people in a positive light. So thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
I'm going to cry now so you can go.
I actually, because I promised this, wanted to make it a thing. Okay. Do you actually have a question for us?
Yay! You have a lot of questions. But we got to save some for the next time. But what inspired you to create this podcast?
Nice. Because JP...
Whose turn was it last time?
It was mine. It was asked to me.
But I answered.
No, you didn't.
Can you see? This is why colored people shouldn't work together.
But I can answer because I have practice. I've been trained.
You just want to showcase your skills here.
No. So
media trained.
So JP actually started the podcast because he felt there wasn't enough spaces where you can see faces and voices of people that sound and look like us. And that was the initial inspiration. Okay. It has evolved.
Ooh, a lot of media trading.
Very similar to the way your cooking evolves as you grow. So we and our dream and our vision has grown with the GenC, and that's why the C is capital letters.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Because it's more,
But why That's another question. So why GenC? Why did you call it GenC?
So I think
with
at
the C,
time,
a lot of people say Gen Z. Why GenC?
So at the time we were a lot of names we were throwing out, but there was the whole discussion on boomers, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and we just felt like naming it this would connect with all of that. So calling it Gen C is that it's the it's the clear thread with all of our generations and how we grew up. And I think that's where the name started, in that we're not just for one generation. We actually the thread between all of us.
Yeah, you're tying it like that golden thread of tying it all together to give a holistic approach.
That's the reason.
I love it. Thank you for joining us on GenC. Hope to see you next week.
And if you like this content, please do like, share, subscribe,
follow. Wait, another thing I need to say. You know how hard is it for somebody my age to get followers on Instagram? So please, guys, follow me on Instagram. The Gen X generation don't understand the baby boomers. They Facebook people, and I know Facebook is for old people. But really, guys, can you just like me on Instagram?
And we out. Peace.